What's going on? It's Kevin Holt here with BallHerHoops. First, I would like to say thank you for the continued support since the beginning, and Happy New Year to all the BallHers out here and the supporters. Please understand, this is all done for you guys. I don't get anything from it, but just the joy of being able to give the information out about girls basketball. That's the major thing for me. So Happy New Year to everyone. Shout out to all the teams that won tournaments or showcase events. I'm going to go through a good amount of them, but sorry if I missed any. Cannon and Providence Day girls, congrats on winning their brackets at the Carolina Invitation in Charleston. That's huge, not just for those programs, but for Charlotte area basketball. You get two teams down there that win, and then there was another North Carolina team that won also, so that's big. Newton Conover winning the Dick's Sporting Goods Classic. Congrats to them. I think Salisbury, I said they're co-champions because the unfortunate event, they ended the tournament early. It was a sad situation, but shout out to them. I feel like they would have won that championship, so still going to give them their flowers. Charlotte Catholic on winning the PSX Christmas Classic. They did it in pretty dominating fashion. Shout out to Shelby for going undefeated at the Queen City Clash. They beat Providence. And they beat Cumberson. They're Olympic going undefeated at the PM Holiday Hoop Fest. They're really good in that event. Hopewell also won both of their showcase games in the Lady Trojan Holiday Classic, beating two teams from Rock Hill. Charlotte Latin going undefeated at the St. Pius Christmas Classic. I was a little confused about that because Catholic was in there, but I guess maybe they already played Catholic, or maybe they had a game that they lost that I didn't see. But as far as I saw on Twitter and the stats, they won all the games, so congrats to them. And Cox Mill for winning the East Lincoln tournament. That's huge. Great job to them. If I missed anybody, please, my apologies. I'm just proud of the way Charlotte area teams have competed. It's always exciting to watch the wins tally up for our ladies in these tournaments. Rooting for each other is big when we are going against other states. A lot of times when you're in other states, going against other states, you have the whole state against you. So when you got a chance to root on another team, whether it be a rival or a team that's in your conference, it's always good when you're out of town to root for each other because that's where the support is. A lot of those schools are home based, so they got the biggest crowd. So help us out a little bit, cheer each other on. But teams are starting to find their stride, and some teams are on fire. As conference begins, some teams are really finding that gear to get towards conference. When you start talking about conference, that means you start talking about the deeper scouting. You play each other twice. So most teams are going to be overly prepared to be ready for these games. But you also getting ready for that state championship. You're trying to get to that fight for the state championship. Conference is the biggest time because you're getting there and you're understanding that, all right, so we need to get here to get this place in the state. Like private school is a little different than public school because in private school, everybody makes the playoffs. So if everybody makes the playoffs, you're looking for seeding in every game that you play pretty much. All of them are considered like pretty strength of schedule wins. Like it's not like they only lost by this much. No, it has to be an actual win for it to count. And then in public school, you don't get everybody in your conference in. I want to say it's the top 3 teams from each conference, and then I know the conference tournament winner, and then you got some bubble teams, and it's not a lot of those, so that's huge. You got to be able to be there at the end. So let's go ahead and go through our rankings for the Fire 15. It's been a while since we've done these, so I have some honorable mentions, starting with Olympic. Good team. Once again, they have to have a signature win. Teams that are on this list, Victory Christian. They've been good, have a lot of losses though. Once again, their losses don't come to teams inside of our area, but It's a lot of losses, but they're playing high level competition, so that's why they're on honorable mention. Charlotte has been on a tear. They've won a lot of games, and they're a really good team. I want to see them when it comes to conference. They may be higher up than I previously predicted. And then you got Northwest Cabarrus, a one-loss team, but they're still really good. So after that, we go into the top Fire 15. Independence, 8-2, only 2 losses on the season. But they're still waiting for that team to have a signature win. Their only 2 losses come to Hopewell, who's been really good. And then you got Charlotte Catholic, who's pretty much one of the top 2 teams in the state right now. So really waiting for them to have a signature win as far as conference. It's conference season now. And I'm doing a game I look forward to for each team. And the game I look forward to the most for them would be against Providence January 4th, which is this Tuesday. There's a lot of games on January 4th that are going to be really good. I want to try to get out to a game if I can. But they have Independence there at 15. At 14, I have Carson. Carson is 9-2 as well. Only 2 losses. A team that hasn't had a bad loss. And they're winning at a steady pace. They've found their way. Mary Spry has been really good. I want to see if they are a team that is ready to compete for the state championship, though. A lot of times when you get into conference play in the 2A, 3A divisions, maybe the conference not as strong as other conferences, but their game I look forward to is January 4th against Northwest Cabarrus. Northwest Cabarrus was one of the honorable mention teams, so I want to see how they put up a fight against them. At number 13, brand new to the Fire 15, first time, Hopewell, 10-2. They've been on a roll. Their 2 losses was the first game of the year against Cox Mill, in which they were still kind of finding themselves. And then they went down to Fayetteville and lost to E.E. Smith, which is a hard place to play in. And for them to even take on that battle is admirable in its own. But they're a good team with good guards. Layla Wall Gibson has been one of the better leaders in our area. I always say if you have a point guard that leads your team, it makes you a dangerous team. They've been really good. But their game I look forward to is going to be a big test versus Chambers. That's January 4th as well. So I think that will be the game that I actually attend if I do get a chance to. That should be a big-time matchup for Hopewell. Hopewell needs another signature win. They had a good win versus Independence, but if they are able to start conference 2-0 with their second win being versus Chambers, that would be huge. At number 12, I have Shelby. Shelby's 4-2. Not a lot of games, but their 2 losses come to Myers Park and Chambers. So that's not bad losses, but they've won 4 games in a row, saw them play, and their team is looking good. It's not just the big 3. Their role players are actually starting to be a lot better. They're playing their role, making shots, rebounding, things like that, which is what is needed when you have those 3 guards that are really good. Their game I'm looking forward to is January 26th against Kings Mountain. That'll be a good game. Sanaya Wilson's really good over there. And they've been winning pretty much a lot of games as well. So I want to see how that goes. At number 11, I have Newton Conover. Newton Conover is one of those teams that probably could be higher, but they still have to. I haven't seen them play high-level teams, even when looking at their record. They're 9-1. They're winning, and they're getting a lot of good games in. They avenged the 1 loss that they have. They lost to Alexander Central, and they actually avenged that loss. So Cassie Gaddis has been nothing short of amazing so far. She's been one of the better players in the area. I look forward to their game January 11th against Bandies. That'll be the game that I think will give them some type of competition. I mean, that's the only game left on their schedule that is really a tough game. But it's in conference season. Those teams are going to know a little bit more. So I feel like that'll be interesting to see what happens in that conference. Number 10, North Mac. They're 11-1. Suffered their first loss to a good Hillside high school out of Durham, North Carolina. They finished the tournament with 2 good wins against other teams out of Durham. I want to see them beat a good team in conference. I feel like they need a good win. They haven't really beat a team that's like considered one of the better teams, so I want to see how they will do. And they don't have to wait long. January 7th, which is next Friday, they got Chambers. That'll be a really good game. I want to see how those guards and that defense affects those guards at Vance or Chambers. Number 9, I have Lake Norman. Lake Norman is 9-3. Their team is finding their stride. I really feel like they've been really good. And they're coming off of a tournament where they finished 3rd at the Junior Orange Bowl Classic, losing to a good Miami senior high school, which is a team that is not just beating teams lightly. Like, they really are a good team down there in Miami. And at the beginning of the year, I said that this Lake Norman team could be a surprise team to win states. I still feel that way. The game I look forward to is January 21st against Myers Park. That should be a really good game, a good out-of-conference game that will be a fanfare. If you really want to see good basketball, I think that'll be a really good game. You have shooters all over the place and guards that really get after it. And number 8, I have Salisbury. They're 8-1. Their one loss came to nationally ranked Apex Friendship. And they're on the tear. They haven't lost since. I hate that their tournament ended because of some senseless violence. They are one of the hotter teams in the state, especially going into the conference. They are a team that could cut down the net at the end of the season. The 2A division is loaded, actually. So I would love to see how it all pans out. It's going to be something to look forward to. I would love to do a bracket breakdown of each one. It's going to be a little harder with 1A because I don't know as much of the teams. But the game I look forward to for January 14th against North Rowan. North Rowan has some good girls on their team as well. I think Bailey is on their team. I always mess up her last name, so I'm not even going to try it. But she's a really good guard over there at North Rowan. So I want to see how that pans out. Number 7, 101 Prep, 15-6. That team has played a lot of games already. And they've been doing really good. They lost a couple games up in D.C. And they've been still winning since then. I saw them a little bit at the PM Holiday Hoop Fest. But they've been really good. I think they're going to continue to be one of the teams that at the end of the season will be hard to beat. They do not play for a state championship, but they do play for a national championship. And I can see them, depending on who's in that tournament, they could be a favorite to win that. Ella Hobbs has been amazing. Jody King, all of those players have been working their tails off to be better, so they're only getting better by the day. Number 6, Julius Chambers. They're 7-4. They're fighting through some adversity with this team, but they're still playing hard, and that's one of the biggest things. They went to Myrtle Beach and played some tough games. They beat a good Cardinal Newman team, and they lost to Keenan, and then they lost to, I don't even want to say the wrong team name. But they've had some really good games. The game I look forward to is January 4th against Hopewell, which will be a good conference battle. Chambers is probably favored to win that game, so Hopewell will be the underdog. So that underdog mentality will make it an even better game. Number 5, I have Cannon. Cannon is 10-6. This is a great example of a record doesn't reflect the schedule. And the record doesn't reflect the schedule, as they have played against some top-level competition around the East Coast. Winning their latest tournament in Charleston, they have been getting in the work, playing all of those games really competitively, and are looking to head into the rest of the season as a team on a mission. The mission over there at Cannon is always end of the season. We want to be the last team standing. So they are playing that way, and that's how, I've said it in previous episodes, that's how you get your team ready for that end of the season. You play top competition, and you see where your team is. Game I look forward to, January 11th versus Providence Day. I think that's going to be a really good game. Providence Day has been on a tear as well. Number 4, Myers Park, solid team. Despite the 3 losses, which have came to teams outside of North Carolina. They lose to two, I think one Virginia team, one DC team, and then one South Carolina team. But they have still been winning games. I don't know if they took that loss, but they were playing yesterday in the AJ Banks Classic. Mustangs will have a couple of days to get back to action before they get back to action against Weatherton on Wednesday. The game I look forward to is January 11th against South Meck. That'll be a huge game for the Mustangs because South Meck's another team that's been on a tear. At number 3, I have Providence Day. I actually had a tough one between 3 and 2 because Providence Day is the hottest team right now, not named Charlotte Catholic. They're on a 12-game win streak. Coach Springer has them playing really well going into some big games. They play well-balanced games and some lockdown defense. Their championship game, they really shut down their opponent. Watched a little bit of it, didn't get to see the whole game, but their game I look forward to is January 11th versus Cannon. If you love basketball and you like watching basketball, that's a big game to watch. I think both of those teams really want it, and it's a good early conference matchup. They always play first, which is always good because then you know what you have to do for the rest of the conference slate, because usually it's those two teams at the end. So number 2, South Meck, one-loss team. They're 9-1. Their one loss is coming against the top team in the state, in my opinion, which is Winston-Salem Christian national team. Other than that one loss, they have been on a tear, continuing to dominate competition. I want to see them win some really competitive games. Like, they've won some games, but I've seen them play some semi-competitive teams. But I think going into conference will be big. January 7th, they go against Olympic. Olympic is a team that's really wanting to show others that, hey, we're not no punks. Like, we're here. We're going to give you a fight. So that'll be a really good game. And then, of course, January 11th against Myers Park will probably be a battle for the top of the conference. And then number 1, I have Charlotte Catholic. 13-0, this team is clicking on all cylinders. And maybe a mid-season favorite to make it to the state championship. I'm not going to say to win the state championship because the Apex team has really been just as good. So that will be a great matchup to see. And there's still other teams that's in this conversation, but we'll do a mid-season state championship podcast too. The game I look forward to, before I get to that, they are well-balanced. If you watch this team and you've seen them play, you see that it's hard to find a weakness. Of course, you got the size, but you have a really good point guard. Then you have shooters all over the place. And for them, that makes the game so much easier because you can't really lock in on one thing defensively, because a lot of people say, oh, we got to stop Blanca, but then you have everybody shooting on the outside. And it's like, well, we can't pinch down on them. Let's stop the shooters. And then you have Blanca, you have Grace Goff. All those people are just dominating the game. So their coach is doing a really good job of making sure that everyone's prepared. The game I look forward to is them versus Providence Day on January 17th. I think that'll be a really good game because Providence Day is going to be well prepared and they're going to game plan against Catholic. So that was it for the Fire 15. I have my game of the week. So I have 2 this week. My first one is South Meck versus Olympic. Like I said, Olympic is looking to prove they belong with the top teams, and South Meck is looking to continue their dominance. So that'll be a really good game. Game 2 would be Chambers versus Hopewell. I think Chambers is a really good team, and a lot of people might be forgetting that. But I think Hopewell will test their ability to score the ball on all, because they score the ball on all 3 levels, and it should be a really good game. Upset of the week, I have Northwest Cabarrus over Carson, January 4th. Northwest Cabarrus is a solid team, and they have a lot of talent to possibly pull off this upset. So I thank you guys for another great week. It's been a great winter break. A lot of these kids got up and down on the court, so that's always good. So look forward to doing more. But we'll see you guys next time. I appreciate everyone listening. BallHerHoops, we're out.